That's hilarious. What's up, YouTube? Today is the beginning of Wealth Wednesdays, and I want to cover what we're going to be doing for these videos. So starting off, what we're going to do is actually take a sum of money and put it into investments, and you guys are going to follow along with me as I do that. I'm going to use a stock screener, which is a website online called FinViz, where you can build a portfolio and look at the financials of companies and also look at news. And I'm going to keep this going. Every Wednesday we can check in on how things are doing, and I'm going to start in April. But just to give you a glimpse of what these Wealth Wednesdays are going to be about, we'll also talk about following up on Motivational Mondays, also career stuff. We could talk about salary negotiations, more than just building wealth, also income. And what I'll also do is I'll mix in driving footage so that it's not too dry, not too boring. I'll try to, keep things interesting, mix it up, but Wealth Wednesdays will be a little bit more serious when I'm just talking to the camera, and bear with me as I get better over time. All right, guys? One thing I'll start with is how I got to actually this point in my life. So I'm 31. I work in AI. This is my third startup, and to get here, I did my undergrad in Boston at Northeastern, and my last internship was at a big bank called State Street, and I sat as a business analyst with one of their IT groups, and I learned essentially what was called management information systems back then, which is how systems were linked. I learned how data was being sent across different groups within the bank and how it was being utilized. And I also met the people in charge of different departments. And what I quickly was able to do is understand the flows between data, people, systems. And I started to map that out in easy to read visual charts. That got me a lot of, I think, good, interest from management. And I was able to secure a job at State Street Global Advisors, which was the investment management division of State Street after graduating. So from State Street Global Advisors, I worked there for almost 3 years, and then I was approached by a recruiter for BNY Mellon. They were starting a robotic process automation team. So before machine learning, RPA was a big thing. So it's still a big thing. It's where you take a predefined set of instructions for a computer to do, which traditionally a human would do, and then you would run that on a schedule. And then for BNY Mellon, they were doing that at scale. So I got to join them. And I was 24 at the time. I signed on as a vice president, and I got a really good amount of exposure to big data at a large financial firm and how automation techniques were being utilized to basically make sense of that big data, but also make it valuable and reduce manual time. So my time there was spent as a lead developer, solution architect, and what you could think of as a liaison between the business and the developers. So that was a really interesting time. I actually took a risk because that was a great job, a really good salary, but I was approached again by a recruiter, and this time it was to be a consultant. And the end company was BlackRock, and they wanted me to consult for them to help them stand up their own automation center of excellence. So I left a cushy salaried job with BNY Mellon, vice president at 24, to basically take on a risk as a W-2 consultant, which means being paid by the hour. And they actually were asking me what my rate would be. So I decided to set my own rate at $100 an hour. And they accepted it. And you know what? That was one of those times in my life where I took a big risk. I bet on myself, and it ended up working out because I took everything I had learned through my years at State Street Global Advisors and BNY Mellon, and I created a program and a center of excellence at BlackRock while I was a consultant, while I was also leading development projects for RPA for BlackRock. And after a year of doing that, they actually hired me full time. And that's actually how I came down to Atlanta. So I spent 9 years in Boston with Northeastern for my undergrad, State Street, BNY Mellon, consulting for BlackRock, and then I got hired into Atlanta. So that's kind of how I got here. I had a Kia Stinger GT2 all-wheel drive and an Infiniti Q60, a base model actually, that I had built up over time, and I brought those cars down to Atlanta. The Q60, I had a custom body kit, aftermarket turbos that I worked with RT Tuning in Pennsylvania on. Shout out RT Tuning. I had Z1. I had Z1 put on a set of, I believe it was Nismo wheels. They were so sick. That car was just amazing. There was a level 10 upgraded transmission. It was built, the bottom end of the engine was built with Manley pistons, or sorry, JE pistons and Manley rods. I might be getting that wrong or flipping that around, but that car was a beast. And I drove that around Atlanta, and I got to meet a lot of people in that car when I moved down. After that, I actually got rid of both vehicles and got a GT3 during the pandemic. It was a 991.1. It was at a Hyundai dealership, and I think I got it for $97,000. It had a California Lemon title, and that unlocked even more in terms of relationships in Atlanta, and I'll definitely cover some of those stories in future videos. But long story short, now I have a G82. I do have something else coming, which I can't wait to show the channel. But like I said, I want to keep growing, keep giving you guys content on a set schedule. So Mondays are going to be Monday Motivation or Monday Music. Wednesdays are going to be Wealth Wednesdays, and then Fridays are going to be Fun Fridays. So hope you guys enjoy all the content. Can't wait to keep this going. What's good, YouTube? We are back. Getting some driving footage. Traffic as usual. Let's get some long continuous shots for you guys. In a future video, I will go over the transmission settings for XHP and the Bimmer code settings to customize things like the interior lighting and the active sound design. Still pretty windy today. Try and get some good action by these tunnels. Not even tunnels. What would you call this? Going the other direction on the highway. Still traffic, of course. We'll come back around, but look how bad these roads are. It's crazy. I aired up my tires this morning because went to a track day, so tires went from 29 in the rear to 34. And like 31 in the front to 37. Feels much better for the street. Although these Hankooks really grip, at like 32 psi hot. Like they grip like crazy, like unbelievable value for money. Had to do it for those construction guys. They saw the car the first time around. I love driving the car in a way that right when you pass by someone it sounds so good. I just think that's like a bonus, you know? You see what I have to deal with on a daily basis, right? But you get to become a better driver, I think, if you could figure this shit out. That sounded excellent. With the burbles off, I think even when you're not at wide open throttle, even at maybe 70%, 50% throttle, it sounds good, especially when you shift. But with the burbles on, I think it just gets a little bit more raspy. And you hear the intake more with the burbles off, and honestly, I think these engine bay intakes, people say they heat soak, but the ones I have heat soak shields, like housings, but they're open still. And it's from the same company as the exhaust. It's Mastery of Art and Design, so they just sound amazing. And if the car is tuned, you can get the most out of them. But still, stock, it sounds really good. That was like 60% throttle, that was 40%, and you hear the intake at 40% and 60%, more at 40%, but it still sounds clean. That's hilarious. Okay, there he goes. How are you, bro?
Who built that car?
It's stock.
That ain't stock.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing stock about it. That's too loud.
It's just mid pipe and down pipes.
Really?
Yeah, and a valve controller. Huh?
Who does your work?
High tech suspension in Norcross.
So I run the Eurofed in Buckhead.
Word.
So my name's Chris. If you ever need anything, come holler at me, bro.
Nice meeting you, Chris, bro.
For sure.
You going this way back to Buckhead, or what are you doing?
I'm going this way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, bro. I swear every day in Atlanta is like GTA. This car, I think, it creates NPC interactions. It's the best way to describe it. And remember, all of this is AI generated, so the AI is creating the NPC interactions too, I guess. that sounded excellent. Got to burn all the pollen up. You can still have fun in traffic. The truck in front of me seems to be someone who's not too engaged in driving his Tremor like a Tremor, so I probably will get space. I've been in four-wheel drive sport, that's why we didn't lose traction in the tunnel. Put it into two-wheel drive though. Keep the burbles on, why not, right? If you're gonna be ridiculous. I saw him turn his signal on, so it's all good. When this clears up, I'll turn it back on. wish I could play music on YouTube, but I'm not trying to get demonetized. But you know what? Next Monday is going to be Music Monday, because last week was Motivation Monday. So I'm going to share some tracks, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that, and I can grow the channel through music, cars. There's going to be technology, a lot of things coming up. I'm doing the burbles for you too, you know? But no, sometimes I enjoy the burbles, I'm not gonna lie. Who doesn't like a little bit of burble action? And this is not artificial, this is the natural stock tune, fuel over round sound when you have the sport exhaust button on.